May 3, 1999 for millions of Americans. It began like any other spring afternoon. Children were riding bicycles. Parents were driving home from work. Restaurants were filling with families preparing for dinner. Across central Oklahoma, dark clouds slowly gathered on the horizon. To most people, it looked like another thunderstorm. But inside weather stations, meteorologists were becoming increasingly nervous. Every radar scan looked worse than the last. The atmosphere wasn't just unstable, it was loaded with explosive energy. Storm chasers from across the country began racing toward Oklahoma, not because they knew exactly what would happen, but because they had a feeling something historic was about to unfold. Then at exactly 6:23 p.m., a funnel touched the ground. At first, it didn't look unusual, but within minutes, it transformed into something no one had ever witnessed before, a tornado so violent that scientists would later measure winds reaching 321 miles per hour, the highest tornado wind speed ever recorded. Entire neighborhoods disappeared. Steel towers twisted like paper, cars flew through the air, concrete foundations were left completely empty, and millions of Americans watched the disaster unfold live on television. This wasn't simply another tornado. It became the storm that changed tornado forecasting forever. This is the true story of the Bridge Creek Moore tornado. The morning of May 3 started quietly. Temperatures climbed into the 80s. Warm, humid air streamed north from the Gulf of Mexico. Meanwhile, a powerful jet stream pushed cold, dry air across the Great Plains. When those air masses collided, the atmosphere became incredibly unstable. Meteorologists immediately noticed something unusual. The wind wasn't just changing speed. It was changing direction dramatically with height, this invisible rotation, known as wind shears. It's exactly what violent tornadoes need. By noon, weather models were already showing the possibility of long-track tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center issued one of its highest severe weather outlooks. Television stations interrupted regular programming. Warnings spread across Oklahoma. Still, many residents had experienced tornado warnings before. Most assumed this storm would pass like all the others. They had no idea nature was preparing something far more terrifying. At 6:23 p.m., southwest of the small town of Amber, a rotating wall cloud lowered toward the ground. Within seconds, dust exploded into the air. A tornado had formed. Storm chasers immediately noticed something unusual. Instead of remaining narrow, the tornado rapidly grew wider. Its circulation intensified at an incredible rate. The funnel became darker, louder, more violent. Veteran storm chasers who had followed hundreds of tornadoes began backing away. One of them later admitted, "I knew this one was different." Less than 15 minutes after touching down, the tornado had become an unstoppable giant. The first community directly in its path was Bridge Creek. Residents had only minutes to react. Some rushed into underground shelters, others hid in bathrooms. Some never reached safety. When the tornado arrived, it erased entire streets. Large brick homes simply vanished. Only bare concrete slabs remained. Pickup trucks weighing several tons were thrown hundreds of feet. Trees lost every branch. Telephone poles snapped instantly. Even the grass was ripped from the soil. The damage was so complete that survey teams struggled to determine where some homes had once stood. While the tornado crossed Bridge Creek, a mobile Doppler radar scanned directly into its core. Scientists couldn't believe the numbers appearing on their screens. Wind speeds 300 miles per hour, 310, then 321 miles per hour. At first, researchers assumed the radar was malfunctioning. They checked the data again. Then again, the numbers remained the same. Never before had anyone measured tornado winds this powerful. Even today, no stronger wind speed has ever been directly recorded inside a tornado. Nature had shattered every expectation. Now the tornado was heading toward Moore, a city packed with homes, schools, shopping centers, and busy highways. Television meteorologists spoke with urgency. "This is a life-threatening situation," screamed across the city. Traffic jammed the roads. Families climbed into closets. Others screamed into tiny storm shelters. Then, the tornado arrived. Entire neighborhoods disappeared within seconds. Schools were destroyed. Businesses collapsed. Power lines exploded. Debris filled the sky thousands of feet above the ground. Survivors later described complete darkness even though the sun hadn't set. As the tornado approached Oklahoma City, forecasters realized something terrifying. A normal tornado warning wasn't enough. People needed to understand. this tornado wasn't survivable above ground. For the first time, meteorologists used a phrase never officially employed before: tornado emergency. Those two words carried one message: if you are not underground, your life is in immediate danger. Today, that phrase is still reserved only for the most catastrophic tornadoes. And it all began because of the events of May 3, 1999, when the tornado finally lifted. The damage stretched for nearly 38 miles. Entire neighborhoods had vanished. More than 8,000 homes across the outbreak were damaged or destroyed. Thousands of people suddenly had nowhere to live. Emergency crews worked through the night searching for survivors. The final toll was heartbreaking. 36 lives were lost. Hundreds more were injured. Property damage exceeded $1 billion in 1999 dollars. For many families, recovery would take years. The Bridge Creek Moore tornado wasn't the deadliest tornado in history, but it remains one of the most powerful forces of nature ever measured. It transformed weather forecasting, improved radar technology, changed emergency warnings, and reminded the world that even with modern science, nature can still unleash unimaginable power. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true stories of nature's most extreme events. Next, the 2013 El Reno tornado, the widest tornado ever recorded.